3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Well, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Welcome in across the continent and beyond for another very exciting Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants broadcast. If you're joining us for the first time, and so many of you are today, we are all about bringing conservation, adventure, and science into classrooms around the world. And many of you may know, this is our big Ocean Week celebration. We've got 20 programs on oceans with some of the coolest explorers and scientists on planet Earth. But today, to wrap up our first day, we are doing something entirely different. In fact, not just different for Ocean Week, but entirely different in the whole 4,000 broadcast history of Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants in partnership with our friends at E2 Adventures. And we are going to learn a little bit about the heart of the internet, a backstage pass to how it all happens. Now, if you ask your teachers, ask your parents what the internet was like when they were kids, it was quite a different place. Let me tell you, as a 33-year-old guy, I lived through dial-up. I encourage you to ask your friends and family what that's all about. It was a very different era even 20 years ago. Today, most of us on this planet use the internet for pretty much everything. Whether we work or play, we are online. So how does that happen? It's not magic. It's not just going up to a cloud, literal or figurative. It happens through amazing places on this planet. So today, we're going to join with Marianne, who's going to do a little bit of a walkthrough with us on how that all works. I'm so excited you're joining us from across the continent today. And without further ado, Marianne, welcome to the broadcast.
Hi, Jesse. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
You are one of the cheeriest people I have ever gone live with. I've got to say, we met like 15 minutes ago. Again, this is made possible by E2 Adventures, and I'm just so excited to do a deep dive in with you. So feel free to take us away. I know we're in our data center too. We've got some amazing slides, so I'll leave you to it, and I will zip it, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Jesse. Well, I'm going to welcome you to one of our biggest data center in Montreal. Obviously, it's a very secure place, so I cannot disclose the address, but you have the chance today to see for yourself inside the room. And I'm going to have, yes, thank you. So this is inside one of the biggest data center that we have in Videotron. What is it, a data center? It's basically a place where all our servers, like big computers, and all our fiber optics connect to each other so that you can have your phone, your cell phone, working with application, watching TV, watching movies. This is where all the magic is beginning, in this data center. So why this one is a pretty big one? Because we give the service to at least 1 million customer in here in Videotron. So it's a huge data center for us, and it's a data center. There is storage in those servers. So when you watch Illico Plus as an example on your phone, and you want to watch a movie, a specific movie, you request it, and well, this movie is gonna go through one of those servers, through the fiber optic, through one of your through your Wi-Fi at home, and then to your phone, and like that. It's very, very quick. So this is how it's working. And why we need data centers, it's because everything is connected together. It's also because if you're like traveling in Europe and you still want to talk to your friend, or you still want to watch or use your application on your phone, it needs to be connected with every network. So right now we're looking at a map with all the fiber optic cable that, the major one that we have on Earth. You can see also that a lot of those are under the water. So there are submarine cables under the water. It's very important, because otherwise we would not be able to connect in an efficient way with other, like with Euros, with Africa, and everywhere in the world. We know that there is satellites, but fiber optic is one of the most efficient way to connect all the devices together. So there is a lot under the water. And maybe Alex can walk slowly inside this data center. If we can see for a closer look to our data, our server and everything. So there is just stack and stack and stack of servers that contains a lot of information. Can we see some green lights in here? Green is good, red is bad. So we need to keep this data room, those servers always up and running 24/7. Why? It's because if there is a failure, if there is a shutdown on one of those servers and there is no redundancy, or there's not another device that's gonna, do the same job, you'll see there's gonna be an outage, and you won't be able maybe to have your service. So we're,
I was just gonna say, this is so cool, by the way. Like, I've never seen anything like this
showing
personally in my life. The fact that they're all green too. Like, I know I've seen
that,
that in videos, I've seen that in movies and TV, but out of
yes.
curiosity, just as a preemptive question as we keep walking, what
Mhm.
happens if one is red? What do you actually do if it turns red?
There's an alarm that our NOC, so it's the National Operation Center. The NOC is going to receive an alarm from one of the server, one of the switch router, and we will send a technician or an engineer. An engineer is going to look this up and see what's going on, and we will have to fix it. Obviously, here, I was talking about redundancy. Obviously, here we have everything both at the same time. So if you have a server doing the movie request, we have another one doing the same thing, and maybe this other one is in another location, to make sure that we have all the safety, all the redundancy that is needed. And what needs to be also keep 24/7. Oh, we see towers as well. So the cell towers that brings the services to your cell phone are also connected to those data center. Those cell towers, we have many, many, many in our territory. So Videotron is mainly based in Quebec. So we see the towers of Videotron right now. All those towers, they're not talking to each other directly. They're talking to the core side, to the data center, and then the signal is going back to the tower. So this is just Videotron, but we can click on adding Bell, adding Rogers, adding Telus. Everything are connected. So if your friend, yeah, it's crazy. If your friend has a Rogers cell phone and you have a Videotron cell phone, how is it working that those two cell phones can connect together and we can talk together? It's because everything is connected. So my network, my data center, my central office is also connected by fiber optic to Rogers. It's working all together. It's really a mesh network. Everything is connected to everything. So that we have a lot of cell site. This is also the cell site of the cell towers of Freedom Mobile, which it's a company that we acquired in 2023. So now we're more like Canada based. So we're very happy. So Freedom Mobile is also a provider of cellular services. So it's really nice. And how it's working, it's like if you want to call your friend that is just beside you, even your phone's not gonna talk to your friend's phone. It's not gonna go this way. So your phone's gonna talk to the nearest tower, and this tower is gonna send a signal to our data center, our central offices, really not kind of close, and then it's gonna manage the data. It's gonna locate your friend, even if it was just beside you. He was just beside you, and it's gonna resend the signal through the tower to his cell phone, and that's how it's working. It's always sharing information through the tower to the core and to your cell phone and everything. And if you're on your computer, let's see, and you're connected to your home Wi-Fi, it's about the same, but it's with your own Wi-Fi. So you're working and you want to send an email. Well, you're going to click, okay, send. So there's going to be a signal to your Wi-Fi. And do you hear me well?
I hear you fine, Marianne.
Okay, sorry.
All good. Yeah.
So there's going to be a signal to your Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is connected to the fiber optic. The fiber optic is connected to that data center. And then it's going to process through server, through router, switches. So switches is basically like someone telling you, okay, go this way. Okay, go this way between devices. The router, it's also the same, but between network. Like, okay, go this way with the Rogers network. Go this way with the Videotrons network. So it's really the difference. So it's going to be processed there, and it's going to go back again in a fiber optic.
Cool.
And this is there. So storage in your email and everything.
So just to be clear, so I'm in my house and I send an email to my wife and she's downstairs. It goes all the way to like a data center, the other end of the province, because I'm in the western end, and comes back to her at like the speed of light, and
like that.
It's wild.
Like that.
Very
Almost the speed of light. Because
okay.
yeah, what I forgot to tell is that yes, it's light inside the fiber optic. So it's speed of light, it's the fastest speed. But you know, we have equipment on each end of the fiber optic, so that this is those equipment that's gonna slow all the process. But still, it's very quick because as you see, you know, if I'm gonna send you a text, you're gonna receive it almost instantly. So it's like very, very, very quick right now.
Amazing. Very cool.
Yes. Also, to maintain a data center, you need a lot of people. You need a lot of engineer. You need mechanical engineer because you need to cool those equipment down. So they're producing heat, and you need to keep that the temperature at the right level. Around, it depends on the kind of management you have, but around 21 Celsius or 22, it depends. So you need to keep this room at a proper temperature. Otherwise, those servers, those chips, it's going to heat up and you're going to have a failure. It's going to shut down because of the heat, and you're going to have an outage. So you need that. You need power because it's running 24/7. Yeah, you need a lot. And you need the power for your HVAC, you know, your cooling system. You need the power for those servers. And so you need a lot. Right now, what we're seeing is all the fibers, the small fibers, the blue one, and the green, no, sorry, the green one, and the blue one are the RJ45. So it's all connected together. It's one of the switch, you know. So what is very impressive is that there's one fiber entering in the data center. When we say one fiber, it's one cable because there's so many, 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 like hundreds and hundreds of small fibers in the cable, and that are divided into all those little cables that are going through all the devices. So when I was saying everything is connected to everything, that's exactly that. So that's one big cable of fiber that is entering in our data center, and it's split in many, 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 many cables and going through a lot of devices, some switch, some routers, some servers. It really depends, and it's going back again in those fiber optic to do their job. Maybe we can take a look at the HVAC.
Yeah, I'd certainly like that, much less our kids. I want a quick query because you talked about over 1 million customers and there's so many wires here. Do we need
Yes.
like a wire per customer? Does each wire carry many more calls? What's the deal?
That's a good question. No, we because one wire, let's say, can really transport a lot of information at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's no need to have one wire for one customer. It's like one wire shared by a lot of customer. It's because of some protocols, some type of splitting the information. It's IT stuff that I don't know much, but we know that it's really shared and it's really efficient. So no, you don't need a one for one. It's really divided. What we're seeing right now, that's the concept of a HVAC cooling system. So how it works is that you see this big equipment, it's pushing cold air in the plancher. I have the plenum in mind, but it's the technical word. On the floor? Okay, under the floor. So there's cold air pushing under the floor, and there are some open tiles that are just in front of the server. So the cold air are going up in the servers, and the servers are pushing hot air, and hot air is going up, obviously. So the hot air is going back on the top of the equipment, and it's like a cycle like that, pretty much it. So that's how it's working. And why we push the air under the floor, it's just a way of being more efficient. There is a lot of ways of managing the hot air and the cold air. That's one of it. And in every data center, the same thing you're gonna see in every data center. There's always a hot aisle and a cold aisle, because that's a good way, efficient way to really keep the equipment cool and manage the hot air. You don't want to have like a place where it's more warmer, because it's really a bad way to manage your data room. If you put any server there and there's like hot air always there, it's gonna be bad for your performance of your equipment. So you need to have always kind of a nice
Cycle.
cycle. Yeah, thank you.
Cool. And you talked about too the fact that it needs to keep at the set temperature, 21 degrees. If it doesn't, I guess alarms go off too. Like it lets us know something's gone very wrong. We need to make sure we've got to go in and cool it. Does it shut down the whole system? Obviously not. We don't want to
No,
lose all that data and lose all those things
no.
happening. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a really secure place. So everything is in double. Okay. So it's like that. So if I have a failure in one of my equipment that's pushing cold air, I have another one waiting, to be there and to start working. So it's also we see that in almost all the data center, because it's so important to keep those data center up and running 24/7, because it's not only to watch your movie, but it's like it's essential services. Your cell phone is a really essential services, so it needs to work every time, all the time. So there is a one HVAC unit, the cooling system waiting all the time, so that if one broke, the other one's gonna start. It's the same for the power. So we have, we'll go there later. I'm not gonna say every punch, but yeah, it's the same area. So even for the storage, the servers, you have always both. And maybe we can see that's a good point of view. Also for the power, there's two sides that we can see, A and B. So every server are powered on both sides. So this is the redundancy. So if there is one power bar that is breaking, you have the other one that's gonna take over. Always like that. So everything is doubled. and maybe sometimes more than double. It depends on the criticity of your site or the criticity of your equipment. That's how it's working.
I
So, yep.
Oh, I was just gonna say we cover a lot of people, whether it's like Arctic explorers, deep sea explorers, and redundancy. This idea that you always have a backup is so central. And so, whenever, no matter what field you're in, if your thing is really essential, make sure you have a backup. Don't leave it to chance. We had a backup with today's PowerPoint presentation because it was a little awry on one of the computers, and it means
Yeah,
that we're able to share all these stories with you. So I'm really happy we're covering this. Thanks, Marianne.
it's a good learning. Yes, always have a backup plan. And more than that, as I said also at the beginning, there's a NOC, the National Operation Center, that is always watching through application. So they're in another place and they're seeing all the alarms going on the network. So they're looking also on those alarms on this network for this data center, for the other one that we have, and all the minis that we have. They're watching the alarms 24/7, and if there is any alarm, critical alarm, they're going to send someone, they're going to put an engineer on it, and we're going to solve the problem very quickly, even if we have the redundancy. Because once we're using our redundancy, when we're using our backup plan, there is no more backup plan. So this is an emergency for us. So everything is working. There is no outage for the customer. But if you don't have your redundancy, that's an emergency. So that's how it's working.
Very, very cool. Marianne, I get to work with a lot of really, really passionate people in pretty much every field, and you're like so into this, and I absolutely love it. So I want to make sure that we have a nice long time for Q&A at the end, and I know you've got a
Uh,
little bit of a personal story to share with us. So
Yeah,
if you want to dive in with that, and then if there's any other big things you want to highlight in the center, we'll absolutely get to those. But tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up with this incredible job.
yeah. Well, the funny thing is that I'm a civil engineer. So, and I'm talking about data center, I'm talking about, IT stuff, but I'm a civil engineer. And honestly, I, s- it started when I was a kid. And it's probably because, thanks to my dad, um, he worked on all big hydroelectric dam projects in James Bay. And if for those who don't know James Bay, it started in the 70s with all the biggest construction projects in the Canadian history. It was for dams, it was for clean energy coming through with, well, powered by the rivers. So basically it's that. So he worked on everything, and I was fascinated honestly by this as a kid. And I at home also we talked a lot about it. And my dad kept tons of photos and pictures and books of his work there. And yeah, and this is Manic 5, and I was always really fascinated by how those huge, massive structures were built. So it's all started there, and my that was a AV AV machinery operator, and even he and my mom lived in the Canyapisco for a few years, and now you're seeing my mom with my brother in front of Manic 5. And Canyapisco is way farther in the north, and it was so impressive to me when I was a kid to see that. And this is me in high school. And I decided in high school to be a civil engineer. And the funny part, well, and also I went to Université Laval, for those in Quebec that knows Université Laval, and I graduated in 2007. And the funny part is that, I'm a civil engineer, and I actually never built a dam in my life, but it helped me to go I was inspired also, and it actually opened other doors that I didn't think about when I was in the university. And since 2010, I'm working in the telecom industry. So I really love this field because it opens so much doors that, and you can go in many directions that you didn't think about. So that's why I really love civil engineering, sorry. And yeah, so this is my face in the grade 5.
Marianne, I've got to just pop in for a sec because one thing that I love getting to work with people all across Canada is that the province that is the most understated in how they describe big things is Quebec by a huge margin. And like the place you're describing, I really encourage you to look up the Manic 5 Dam and where it is on the map. And so I live in Western Newfoundland now, which is another place that has a lot of land and very few people. And like we work with people on like every country on this planet, and this is one of the most like remote, challenging
Yes.
environments in the world. And they're like, oh yeah, we go up there with these super trucks and we build these mega projects to bring power and internet and other things to
Yeah,
like millions and millions of people. Like it's wild engineering. Like it's crazy,
it's
unbelievable stuff.
crazy engineering. Yes,
So
I know, I know. And I remember my dad, telling me stories about this women engineer. So also, she was probably very fierce, very fierce.
like look at this place. Thank you so much, Greg, for pulling this up too. Like it's just
Yeah.
it's such an incredible project. Like it makes me like honestly, it's like a salute the flag moment. It's like good
Oh
for us.
yeah,
Like we really
absolutely.
did some cool stuff.
It's something to be proud of.
Sweet.
Very proud of, honestly. And I was saying Pisco is way farther, way remote place, and it's crazy. So yeah, I have all the books at home, and I
Cool.
remember, going through all the books of Manic Five, Laforge, Romain, name it, all the books, and I was very impressed. So yeah.
I've got to say, for our classrooms, you're in this era now where Canada's again talking about like big mega projects on a
Yes.
national scale. And I've got to say, as an adult, it's exciting, but you kids are growing up in that era. So you're going to view it as normal. But like, it doesn't happen very often that countries
No.
really get the urge to do these huge, huge things. And
No.
it's going to be a very exciting next few years to see if we get
Oh
more
yeah.
things like this. So,
Hmm.
oh, very fun. Marianne, we could talk all day. Is there any other big thing you want us to go on a little journey for before we dive in with our questions? We've got a bunch of live classes. We got a bevy of folks on YouTube. Anything with Alex walking through here that we want
Well,
to talk about?
just quickly, the electrical room, it's the heart of our data center, to be honest. I was talking about mechanical engineer, but electrical engineer is a big part also in the data center. You need power. You need a lot of power to be able to have this data center up and running. So this is disjoncteur. I forgot the name in English, but switches. So this is where the Hydro-Québec enter, and we kind of manage all the power. Also making sure that when there's some little glitches, the servers are not gonna shut down and reboot, right? So that's not what we're seeing right now, but Alex gonna go there. We have UPS with batteries. So basically, we need a lot of batteries as well, just to make sure that even there's an outage of Hydro-Québec, we are covered with batteries. Just the time that the generator is going to start and synchronize so that they can take over after. So yeah, UPS, unlimited power supply. There's a lot of acronym. So you see the batteries there.
I don't know if other kids feel this way. I mean, other kids, sorry, I'm a grown man. When I see a room like this, I always feel like if I were actually in it, I would slip and I'd press one of the buttons that would shut down the whole system. It
Yeah.
gives me like actually like a cold sweat just to see technology like this. So if you're a kid and you don't feel that way, maybe you can be cool like Marianne and not like me in virtual education, afraid to press buttons.
I think it's normal because the first time I entered in those electrical room, I had the cold sweat, and I was glad that I had my engineer with me. So yeah, you don't just don't touch anything if you're not sure.
Uh,
That's the first rule.
So on this note, and it was a question that I was going to ask too, we've got our Bayside Public School crew. They've been joining us all year long, like 50 broadcasts. And I know we're not quite at the Q&A yet, but I don't want to bring them in because their school ends in 4 minutes. So this is a great question, guys, if you want to dive in with this, and then we'll keep walking around and share more. Hey, Bayside.
Hi.
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 Share your question, or do you want me to read it for you?
I have a question. With a big place like that, do they have security?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Yes, we have security. So there's camera. Yes, camera outside, and you need a special card. Wait a minute. You need a special card to enter the place. They're gonna see your name, and then when I say I mean the knock, and also you need a code, a special code to enter, and that's the base of the security. There's another place also that there's people, security guard at the entrance, and doing their tour, walking during the night. They're there 24/7, so there's level of security. So yes, we need a lot of security.
I'm so glad we got this question, because at the beginning you said something which, again, you threw in very casually, but which is that we don't share the address of this place. Like, this is such a special place. In fact, in science fiction, like in a lot of movies and TV now, data centers are attacked or are in trouble for some reason, because all of our society is underpinned by these facilities. So it's very important that they are kept secret, that we do have that security.
Exactly.
I love that we snuck in that question. Thank you so much.
Good question.
Marianne, yeah, keep taking us away. Miss Kashif's class, we're going to come to you for questions in a minute as well. YouTubers, we've got lots of time for Q&A, because Marianne is a master explorer and speaker. But do tell us a little bit more about what we're seeing before we dive in with questions. You can let us know when
we're still seeing the UPS, so the unlimited power supply. So would be nice to see the generator outside. The generator is basically a big motor. My English, sorry. That's gonna give the power if there is an outage. So it's working with gas, unfortunately, but we're not using it that often. Only when there's an outage, and that generator is very, very big. I'm not gonna say any number, because it's not gonna ring any bell for you, but it's one of the biggest that there is on the market, and we have both of them, because as I said at the beginning, we need redundancy, we need a backup plan. So we have 2 generator, and yes, thank you, Alex. So Alex is walking towards the generator, and maybe if we're lucky, we can start the generator. And Alex,
yeah. You're going to start the generator?
Well, we thought we could do that.
Why not? Let's live large.
You know what? I told Alex to notify the knock, because if we start the generator, they're going to see it and they're going to call me. So I said, okay, let's just notify the knock and try the generator. The generator is containing a lot of fuel. And it's so secure. It's so secure that Alex is not able to find the code. Is that right?
That's a good problem to have. We know it's secure.
Yeah, we know it's secure. Yes, so we can still talk. But this generator is so big that if we start it, like just for 5 minutes, it's gonna cost in fuel $10. So it's how big it is. Think about your car. You don't have a car. Oh yeah, you were in high school. You're too young. But think about your dad or your mother or anyone has a car, and you're driving like just to go to school, and it's like 10 minutes. It's gonna cost $20. It's crazy, right? So it's not working. Your car is really taking less gas than this generator. And why? Because it needs to be big to power up all our data center that we were seeing right now, that we were seeing previously.
We have covered so many aspects of this, Marianne. I want to make sure we have lots of time for questions. And so
yes,
what I'll
sure.
do is if classes have extra questions after the broadcast, you have my email address. You can pass them along to me. I'll get them to Marianne. We'll make sure we get your answer. What we're going to do first is a quick Kahoot. So for those who are new to Kahoot, the faster you answer, the more points you get. And what you win is Marianne and I's everlasting respect. So no pressure at all. We're going to dive in with this. And Marianne, if you want to give us hints for any of these questions, you're welcome to chime in. We are going to get underway almost immediately so that we can go to Miss Kashif's class for our questions in Slave Lake in just a minute. I want to make sure we get our live class that's been so patiently waiting. But let's dive in with this. and then we're going to take our questions for the next 10 minutes or so. Thank you guys so much. You've given a great audience too. All right. How many people worldwide are connected to the internet? There's about 8 billion people on Earth. Is it everybody? Is it 5 billion? Is it 800 million? Or is it 100 million? What do we think?
Good question.
I was looking into this. What really interested me was that in 2005, so just 20 years ago, it was 16% of the world's population. And now it's 5 billion out of 8 billion. So now it's about 2/3. But that has gone up by so much in the last 20 years is wild. Like the internet really does make life possible for over like several billion people on this planet in the work and play that they do. So very, very cool. All right. How many people use these servers to share their data? 1,000, 5,000, 150,000, 2 million. Aim high. In fact, some of you are new to us, but if you ever join me again for any Kahoot, here's your hint. The biggest answer is almost always the right one because I like superlatives. I like the bigger, the better. Numbers make me happy. All right. Yes, everyone got that. Way to go. Okay. I've got, I'm used to grade 3, 4 audiences. So grade 8 audiences, you're just killing it. The busiest day for these servers. I wrote this question. I got this question with the answer you gave, and I'm shocked that this is the answer. I found this really interesting. I don't know why this is the answer.
I was not surprised. Honestly, I was not surprised.
Really?
Let's talk about it after. Yeah.
It's almost like you're a professional and you know what you're doing. So they don't. Okay, so we've got this mix. So New Year's Day. Why New Year's Day?
You're not sending any texts or anything at the New Year, like hey, Happy New Year, hey, Happy New Year, hey, sharing a photo, pictures, videos.
Okay, yeah. I guess, yeah, on Christmas and stuff, you're not so much sending that, but you're with the people. No. I thought Mother's Day might, like Mother's Day is the biggest day for flowers in the world.
Mother's Day, you should be with your mom. Yeah. But New Year's, you're celebrating.
You're celebrating. It's to everyone. How silly of me. Well, thank you so much, guys. Power Dog has our lead going to our final question. And then Ms. Kashif, we're coming to you instantly for our first question. How many kilometers of cables does Videotron and Freedom Mobile have across Canada? Is it 10, 2,000, 8,500, or 50,000? And I will say that thing that I just told you a mere question ago might not be correct. It might not be the biggest, but it's high. We're going to find it's not 10 kilometers. It's definitely not 10. We learned that from those pictures and things earlier. Let's, I threw them all off. 8,500 is our correct answer. Oh no, my own story has derailed the entire Kahoot. Yes. There you go. So, Mia Coppola, I'm very sorry. Balanced Lazur is third. Second is Clever Buffalo. And first, for all the marbles, drum roll please, by a big margin, is Power Dog. If you are any of these people, let us know who you are. Thank you so much for playing along. And Ms. Kashif's class, I'm coming to you in one quick second. Unmute your mic, and we'll be good to go for a question. Marianne, a question for you from online. Do you have a favorite part of your job? Is there something that gets you up in the morning that you're particularly keen on?
Also, the people. Honestly, the people. Yeah, the people that we're working with, it's making all the difference. Yep. And obviously, it's nice to have technologies ahead of everyone. So nice phone, nice services, but the people, it's what I like the most.
I will say it's really interesting. The more education people get, the jobs that we feature all the time, people tend to go to school for a very long time. And it sounds really daunting. When you're in grade 8 or grade 3, you're like, oh man, I've got to get a degree and then another degree and sometimes a third degree. And it sounds crazy. But at the end of that, you're like 20s and you get to work with the coolest people that are nerdy about the same things you are. You usually get paid pretty well. You get to have a lot of fun in your job. Like it's so worth it if you're interested. And I love that message. So thank you for that. Ms. Kashif, we're going to come to you guys back to back, actually. So I'm going to take 2 quick questions from you as we've taken some from our YouTube friends. Hey, guys, welcome in.
Jasper, come on. So I have a question.
Perfect.
Let's say, like, all of the servers got destroyed. Will the data be recoverable?
Ooh.
It's an excellent question. Very good question. And the answer is yes. Because we have backup servers, kind of a cloud elsewhere. So if there's an explosion, a fire in air, there's going to be a backup data center that's going to just take over as well. Maybe it's not going to stay in the same location. Maybe the server is going to be like in 2 or 3 data center, but it's going to work and the data is going to be recovered.
Interesting. Just like your computer. If I lose my emails, if my computer falls off a cliff, I can get those emails again because I have Gmail, the power of multiple servers.
The cloud, the
Yeah,
cloud.
the cloud is actually big buildings like this.
Because the cloud is actually, data center that are multiple data centers, so that the information can be in two places at the same time. So yes, you can access that from everywhere.
So I'm so glad we got that. If you didn't ask that, I was going to ask it. So I really
It's
appreciate
a
that
good
you did.
question. Yeah.
We're going to head back to that class because I really want to take another one from you while you're live with us. Hey.
Hi.
So my question is, do your guys' data centers, are they like for Canada or is it like the entire world?
Ooh, interesting.
It's really a good question. Actually, I would say both, because it's for our customer based in Canada, but our customer needs to access everywhere in the world. So those data centers are network that are connected to other network everywhere in the world. So the short answer would be only in Canada, but it's really connected through the fiber optic with other data centers everywhere in the world.
Marianne, time flies and you're having fun. We can talk all day about this. So I'm going to encourage our classes. Please do email me. We'll pass along questions to Marianne. We're going to inundate her inbox. She's going to wish she never did the program by the end. That's my goal at the end of every show. This program has come together through so many amazing partners. So I want to highlight some of them. NovaScience, incredible. Ordre and ingénieurs du Québec is amazing. Passeportois. I was talking about this in our lead up to this broadcast. Does so much for education in Quebec. It's just an amazing, amazing organization. So I really encourage you to check that out. And of course, Marianne is at Videotron. So please do check them out, including their website. Lots to explore and discover there. Greg, thank you very much for bringing this up as well. So really great things for Passeportois. Great resources. We'll pass those along to all the classes in a minute. Marianne, we're going to wrap up in a sec. We'll bring in Ms. Kashif's class. And if you're on YouTube and you want to scream and yell and annoy the principal, you certainly can as well too. But before we wrap up, is there any final message you want to leave our classes with today?
Well, thank you so much for listening. And my only advice for you guys would be just stay curious. That's it.
It's the best bit of advice. It's really interesting. We hear that exact phrase so much. And it's like all the people that are the most in love with their jobs, that's like the one unifying factor. It's not that they were like whip smart 99% through all the school. It's not that they're any number of things. It's that they just love learning.
Curious.
Earlier today, our first speaker said, keep reading was her bit of advice. Like there's a reason that people that are just in love with the world, they just constantly want to know more about it. So keep it up, whatever you're interested in. If you want to be an engineer, if you want
Any
to be
subject, stay curious.
The world is your oyster. And if you love today's program and you want to share it with your family and friends, it's on our YouTube channel. We'll pass along all those resources, as we said. But as we do to wrap up every broadcast, I'm going to bring in Ms. Kashif's class. Thank you so much for joining us in Slave Lake. Marianne, Greg, Alex, the whole team of Videotron, thank you so much, everybody. And have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now, guys. And we'll see you all soon. Thank you.